98% of the world's people are spending 98% of their time on things that don't matter. On things that have nothing to do with why we're here. We get caught up in our doingness. Oh, you don't understand, I'm a cameraman. That's what I do. I'm an audio technician. That's what I do. No, you don't understand. I do interviews, I write books. That's what I do. But those doingness functions are meaningless unless they are ways to demonstrate what we're really here to accomplish. And what we're really here to accomplish is the fullest expression of who we really are. People who step into that activity and come from that awareness are people who change the lives of everyone whose life they touch. I believe that God has given all of us 3 invitations, specific opportunities to show up in life in a particular way. The first invitation that I received, not just for me, but for everyone, was, as you said, change the world's mind about God. That was God's greatest desire. Neale and all the rest of you, if you could just change the world's mind about God, what a huge, huge difference that would make. Which is why I wrote a book, by the way, called God's Message to the World, You've Got Me All Wrong, which was a book that I wrote specifically in response to that invitation. So the second invitation was to give people back to themselves. That is, to allow people to come to clarity about who they really are and what is the essence of all sentient beings in the universe. Who are we really?
Which is?
Divinity, individuated. That each of us are an individuation of divinity itself. And when we give people back to themselves, we remind them of their true identity and of their true nature. And many people respond to that by acting as if that were true for them. That is, you give them back to themselves by reminding them of their real origin and of their true identity and their real nature. Then, in August of 2016, I received a third invitation on behalf of all of humanity. And that invitation was to awaken the species.
Which is perfect at the
Wake
perfect time.
people up so that they can arise out of their slumber and come to experience what it means to be human in the way it was intended to be experienced, as opposed to the illusion that we are living. Create a reason for doing what you're doing and being who you are being, saying what you're saying, and thinking what you're thinking. And I also demonstrated that here. My reason is, I have come that you may have life, and that you may have it more abundantly. That's my raison d'etre. I believe that gratitude is the single most powerful tool in the process of spiritual awakening. If we can decide that we are grateful to life, to God, and to ourselves for everything that has happened, what we call good and what we call not so good, that energy changes the expression, it changes the vibratory frequency of how we move through the world, and it actually transforms the exterior experiences of our life. So I find that gratitude is a very, very powerful tool. So I say, thank you, God. Even when I'm facing a major problem, thank you, God, for helping me to understand that this problem has already been solved for me. So what I encourage myself to do is to actively select a state of being. I choose to be gentle. I choose to be understanding. I choose to be compassionate. or whatever it might be. I choose to be wise. I choose to be clear. I choose to be loving. And to choose a state of being not as a reaction to what's going on, but as a decision about how you're going to be before anything is going on, which is what causes things to go on.
Yeah.
So then you become causal in the matter of your life, and your life is no longer a reaction, it's a creation. Every time I get in trouble in my life is when I imagine that my mind has the answer to something. You know, God said to me very clearly in conversations with God, life will never make sense to your mind. Because for a very good reason, your mind has limited data. It only has the data it has collected since it was turned on, since the mind became active in utero. So, but that's, you know, in my case, 74 years. But the soul has the data of all eternity, both backward and forward. The entire panorama of all that is, of the only moment of now. So if I try to go with the soul and I ask myself a very important question before I make any choice or decision, what does this have to do with the agenda of my soul? I think about that when I put on certain clothes, when I eat certain food in a restaurant, when I meet a person, when I agree to do an interview, or when I agree to do anything. What does this have to do with the agenda of my soul? If I can't see a connection, I don't do it.